Live now. Hello. Happy Monday, folks. Happy Monday sounds like a disingenuous thing to say. It's Monday, folks. I hope the start of your week hasn't sucked. Hello, Stephanie.
Oh, am I on screen now? Okay, hello. I can never tell.
Yeah, I only set up one shot today because we're just doing a Q&A. It is surprisingly warm today. How is it down in Jersey?
It's warm, but the last couple of days has been extremely humid and it was just gross. Usually we leave like the windows open for like the fresh air, but it was just so gross. And I was like, I can't do this. Let's turn on the AC.
Do you live by a river or something?
No, it's Jersey. It's just, I don't know.
Swamp.
That's, yeah, it's bleh.
Oh, before we went live, Steph and we were talking about stand-up comedy specials on Netflix. If anyone knows some good shows to check out, let us know. Another one you should check out is Ronnie Cheng. That little exchange just reminded me of that. But anyway, um,
It's all
basically,
Asians, the one that you were like just talking about earlier.
no,
This is
well,
funny, sorry.
no, it was the everything's awesome, but everything sucks kind of thing.
Mm,
How is everyone? If you're joining us live in the YouTube room, then get involved. Tell us where you're from. If you have any questions, use the Ask Matt or Ask Steph or tag us so that we can see them. To those of you joining me on Instagram, thanks for tuning in. If you have a question, just leave it here or join us in the YouTube room and you can join in with the chat. We've got a bigger group
And
going
don't
there.
forget to submit your window light images for Friday.
Yes, good reminder. To the people on Instagram, you wouldn't have heard that. So jump on to mattgranger.com/live, and that's where you can enter your window light images for this week's review. And Friday night, same time, we'll be coming on to take a look at them. Fairfax, California, Melbourne, Florida, Columbia, MD. I guess it's that time of the night. Springfield,
Actually,
MO. What?
hey Matt, analytics wise, like your audience, where are like I guess your top three countries of viewership? Because maybe we should do one where it's like in the middle of the night. Because I remember Joey and I, we used to stream randomly in the middle of the night, and we'll get a ton of people from like Asia, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are actually on when we're awake."
Um, it's USA, UK, Canada, Germany, so all of them are now or a few hours early. Um, then Australia, Asia proper, there'd be barely any in the top 10, I think.
Oh,
Mainly people like me, old white guys. Hi to Jaroslav, 3 just after midnight in Slovakia. Where in Slovakia
nice.
are you? So, questions, please send them in. Let's take a look at them. Any for me or for Steph or for both of us, let us know. Um, we did have one come through on IG before. I'll let you have a think about it, Steph, because I need to have a think about it too. I just looked at it before we jumped on, which was if you could, the question I think was aimed at me, if you could photograph or shoot with any actor, who would it be and how would you like to do it as, you know, a discussion for inspiration for them? So
Jackie
you
Chan.
could, I knew it would be, but if you could film a scene with anyone other than Jackie Chan, what would it
Jet Li.
be? And would you want it to be martial arts
Fighting.
or, there you
Yes.
go. So done. Okay. If you had to choose a dramatic actor to do a dramatic scene with in a short film, who would it be? Have a think about that.
Oh, actually, speaking of which, a lot of people they don't know, but I believe it was Jet Li's film. It's called
She's making
I
it
think
up.
it's no, it's Ocean's Heaven, and it is like a non-martial arts film. It's with Jet Li, and it's so sad. I cried watching it, but it was such a good film, and it's like a dramatic like film where it's just non-martial arts, and I was so surprised. I saw, oh, okay, it's gotta have martial arts. It's Jet Li in it. No, there's no fighting whatsoever, and it was an amazing film, and I cried like a baby.
So were you just crying because there was no martial arts?
No, it was a really sad film. Hold on, let me see if I can find Ocean Heaven. Let me see if I could find a synopsis. Okay, let's
Uh,
see.
so whilst
Oh,
you're
okay.
searching, yeah.
Yeah, so Jet Li, he plays a terminally ill father who tries to teach
I'm
his
out.
autistic son
Oh
everything he
gosh.
needs to survive after he passes away.
But nothing to do with martial arts.
Nope, but it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. That. Well, how did we get to this? So is
You
Jet? That's
said
it.
an
Who do
actor
you want to act
drama,
with? So
and
him. You're gonna play his autistic sister then?
no, but I'm just saying Jet Li can do it all. So yeah.
Okay, then. There you go. Questions we already have in the chat here. I'll come back with my answer. I've always wanted to. No, I'll come back with it. Chris, you asked me this several times and I've answered already. I don't have a D6 waiting for me. I'm not buying one. That was in answer to the last time you asked me. Are they loaning me one to test? I haven't requested one for the answer I gave last week because I don't know that I'm going to devote the amount of time a flagship camera deserves to giving a real world review. Yeah, doing that takes a lot of time, and at the moment in lockdown, that's really difficult, and I don't know that it's worth the effort, to be honest. So the short answer is at this stage, no, for the second time. Um, well, I saw another one in here. Where are they? I'm already lost. Goodness me. Um, what photo books artistically inspire you? And do you look at ad fashion magazines to keep up with trends? So, Glacier, I feel like you're in the room every chat lately, and we've definitely answered that one in the last week or two as well. Anyone got some new questions that maybe we can answer? Let me check the Instagram live feed. Someone on Instagram asking about Sony rumors. Sorry, don't know anything, not interested. Well, I don't know. I want to keep up the energy and answer some good questions, but we need some. Light Illusion Studio. What's the name of the background company behind
Oh,
you?
that's Robert.
Oh, hi. The why am I? Oh, I'm hearing myself suddenly. The company who makes these gravity backdrops. You're probably just seeing the one in frame, but I've actually got 2 or 3 hanging up at the moment. 12 hours time change to down under. I think it's more than that. Probably depends where in Australia. Someone's saying hello Turkey. I don't know if that's how they're addressing us or they're telling us they're from Turkey, but gobble, gobble, gobble. How's your grindhouse? You got any more entries?
Yeah, so I have been trying to practice well, I'm trying to like learn about marketing and whatnot, so I've been trying to see like what works and what doesn't work. And we actually have about 24 entries so far and a bunch more after I talked to a bunch of other filmmakers. I'm trying to expand it more so that way we have more filmmakers from all over rather than a bunch of them from like LA. So we've gotten like submissions from the UK. I don't know, it's like all over the place. But a lot of them are really, really good and they're not all fight oriented anymore, thank God. Because I was trying to look for ones that are more narrative driven, like horror or comedy or drama or anything like that. So I was able to find a bunch of people that were doing that because everybody's marketing their stuff all over Facebook. And it's a lot of really great work. And it's also humbling too to look at and inspiring. So hopefully we'll get a lot more submissions, but a lot of really good stuff so far. I'm really excited. Can't wait to see what else gets submitted. Hopefully after this stream I could check and be like, oh my God. But yeah.
Great. Well, if you guys know anyone making short films who might like to get involved, then spread Steph's link to them. So now we have had some questions coming in. Someone got a D850. Congratulations. Shady Rami, Capture One or Lightroom, what do you prefer and why? Again, well, I guess you just got to do it. There's I've answered all these questions so many times. So if there's anyone in the room who's seen everything I've ever put out, I apologize because you've heard these answers.
Just throw us curveballs, guys.
I use multiple different software, and I don't think you need to be brand loyal when it comes to editing software. They all speak to each other these days. So I use Lightroom for my catalog management and for really quick adjustments. I use Photoshop for some adjustments. I use Capture One when I want to do certain portrait retouching, especially color management or sky replacements, that kind of thing. And there's more. So yeah, it depends which what it is you're trying to do. But if you're looking for one that does everything, I'm sorry, but that's not how I do it. DK wants to get into implied or intimate portraiture. How can he find subjects for it? I would say make sure you're good at portraiture to begin with. Have a portfolio of that, and then either start out with your partner or someone that you're close with, or a model that you've shot with before who is also open to it or has experience, and start slow. And I wouldn't be just the way you worded the question was, how do I approach women to do this? I would be careful with it. I would make sure you have a clear concept and a portfolio that shows what you do and how you do it, rather than just cold asking people, are they open to it? But if you join a modeling community, you'll find there's a lot of professional models whose job is doing that. So you would be hiring them for work, and there's nothing strange about it. You just need to agree on terms. My Getting Started with Models guide and the implied course that Steph and I put out both cover that kind of topic. Terry Goyen, do you listen to music when photo editing, and what music inspires you? To be honest, I don't listen to music for the inspiration to be carried away on the tunes as I do my editing. For photo editing, it's generally I need to get something done rather than I'm spending a day painting a painting, trying to express something. I'm just trying to finish off the last 5% or make corrections to things that I think needed. It's not something that I spend half an hour a photograph on or anything like that. Brad, if you pulled Matt into one of your productions, what would that look like? A mess?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what Joey would write for your role. Originally, actually, it's funny that Brad asked that because the the video that I had just reposted on my Instagram yesterday was a 2017 look back at the year video, us as well as our channel trailer, and we originally wanted Matt to play the older guy that was just like cursing us and just like these fucking art school dropouts. But then we're like, oh man, we can't just bring Matt all the way down here just for that. That's just so lame. Let's just get him for something else.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Jaroslav, in the window light theme, does the window need to be visible in the picture? No, it doesn't have to, as long as it was lit by a window. So I'm sure a lot of them will show it. It's typical in that kind of a shot, but it also doesn't need to be a portrait. So the theme is window light, but no, it doesn't have to show the window. Stefan asks a good question. Is there a question you've never been asked? That's probably fair. I should probably stop with the gut reaction of I've answered that so many times. This is an Ask Matt segment, so sorry to those of you who've heard the answers before, but I will try to just give, if it's something that I know I've answered 50 times, I'll try to answer it briefly, but I'll still answer. Phoenix, as a photographer, do I really need a 10-bit monitor? You don't need anything other than a camera to be a photographer, and people would argue that you could get around that too. I mean, you could rent one. No, I would say the majority of photographers aren't editing on a 10-bit monitor. If you're fortunate enough to, then it's pretty great, but no, it's not a requirement. 101 blog is saying you should contact Film Riot, Steph. They do that kind of stuff. They might be able to get you some publicity.
I could try. I have done so in the past, and I think they get an influx of emails and just different news stuff. So I don't know if it will kind of pass through. I've been trying to contact a lot of news outlets and just like websites and blogs, and it's just really hard since, I mean, I don't know. There's just a saturation of this content out there, so it's really hard to kind of get your stuff out there and like get it known. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Just really working on the marketing stuff this time around, and I'm learning a lot from it, so it's pretty cool. But I will try and see if they'll hear me out this time.
Well, yes, I'm sure they do get a lot of requests, but all you can do is up your percentage, I guess, by sending more requests. Dragon D, do you micro adjust each of your lens body combinations you use even if you borrow to test gear? I will, if I'm borrowing gear, then I will take some test shots and check that they're on. If I find that they're missing focus, then I'll do them. But for my own equipment, typically, yes, I calibrate it, assuming the cameras have that functionality.
Let's see. Ooh, from Colin Cameron, ask Matt or ask Steph, have either of you got a concept for a project that you would create if time/money was no object? I do have a couple concepts.
Yeah, heaps, but I guess it's not really a if time and money were no object. It's more of when I get time, I'll get to them. I don't know that I have a just this will cost $1 million, but I'll never be able to do it type concept. I have a bunch of series that some that I would have hoped to have done in the last 2 months, some that I hope I'll do over the next year. It's just a matter of the time and the energy to put it together. You, Steph?
Yeah, definitely. If I do have a lot of projects and like scripts in mind that I've been working with Joey, and if time and money was no object, we would definitely love to do those, but it's at the moment it's kind of hard. I mean, our patrons on our Patreon, they like get first looks or first news of anything that we're working on. So it's pretty cool. They'll actually help us decide on which projects to green light and what they would want to see soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, have a lot of ideas. See what happens.
Okay, I guess it depends which way they're going about it, if they mean for our YouTube channels or if they mean for us generally or for, what kind of a project you mean. 90mm macro for portraits on an APS-C camera, yay or nay? Check the video I just put out on portrait lenses. You need to think about what it is you're shooting and what the distance you want is going to be and what the closest focus on the lens is. I use 90 a lot on full frame and I like it. Depends if you want to have that working distance with your subject.
Ooh, Joust Mike, hashtag Ask Matt. Okay, curveball question. Ew. What are your realizations, if any, during this quarantine?
Almost any topic can be boiled down to politics in America these days. That one of my main forms of socialization was going out to restaurant meals, and I miss that. What else? Everyone seems to be doing their best, and it's easy for me to judge people when I see them not wearing a mask or this or that. But then when you actually get out there, I realize it really is good for your mental health, and I'm sure physical health just as importantly, to get out and actually get some fresh air and get some sunlight. And there'll be minutes here and there when no one's around when you take your mask off, and that could be the person that I just spotted. But I really do hope over this long weekend that people are still taking it seriously, because I'm seeing a lot of pool parties in people's streams, which is a bit of a worry.
What?
Yeah. Other
Oh.
personal stuff, of course, as well, but that's not for here. And I feel very fortunate that I had, by luck, already decided that 2020 was going to be a year of less travel and less tours. So it's been less of an impact, at least in business terms, than it would have been otherwise. What about you, Steph?
Um, I love staying home. I love working from home. And I think because I was raised where I didn't go to restaurants very often or eat out very often, that I actually don't really mind not going out to eat at restaurants. The only thing that I kind of wish I could do would be like seeing my parents and whatnot like more often. But yeah, I think also I really am a workaholic. Holy crap. Like I work a lot. And I think just taking like a moment like during quarantine and just like sitting there, I'm like, okay, now that I am home and I don't have to go travel to shoots or anything, I have more time to actually work on the things that I wanted to get done. So I'm able to catch up on like a lot of the stuff that I have been needing to do for like months and months and months. And it's great. I love it. It's awesome. And I can like really focus on like art school dropouts. I just wish we could shoot soon, but that's gonna
Yeah.
be hard.
It's
Yeah.
I think I found some of those same things as well. It's a funny one. At the beginning, after getting the urgent stuff off my plate, I realized there's these 50 things that I've been putting off doing, and there's a reason I've put off doing them. It's because they're annoying and they suck, but it is good to have now gotten them done. And to be ahead on some other things. It is actually, I'm sure, for better or worse, there are a lot of us will find that there's things that we've been neglecting in general in the past that either now we miss or that now we realize we should be doing more of, so that when, not if, when things start to get back to normal, our balance of how we spend our time, whether it's how we spend our work time or the balance between our work and our personal time, or how we spend our personal time, I think is going to shift, because you realize what's important to you just from a different perspective. It actually has some value.
Oh yeah, like I didn't eat a lot at all before. I would just work so much I would forget to eat, and now I'm like feeling healthier just for the fact that I am actually having 3 meals a day. That sounds so sad, but it's true.
I'm feeling less healthy for having 6 meals a day now, but yeah, I totally hear you. Um, and that's another thing I found. But anyway, food. I was enjoying cooking, and now I'm really quite sick of it and over it and waiting for things to reopen. Um, let's see. Questions. Something about question. Someone asked a question about London workshops. I don't see the original question. Yeah, I've run workshops in London. I don't know, every year for the past 6 or 7 years or so. Steph and I and Kate came over. Was it end of last year? Sometime last year, and did a couple of workshops in London. That was
Yeah.
really fun. I did go to Edinburgh as well years back. Again, everything depends on it being safe and being, a realistic thing to do. But I hope to get back to Europe this year, and I know there's some people in the room from Switzerland. I am hoping to get to Switzerland, so maybe there's a chance we can cross paths. I'm not sure exactly where you guys are relative to the cities I'd be going to. And also to London, and maybe another city or two in Portugal or Spain. So that would be great.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Actually, yeah, for our school dropouts right now, I'm trying to compile like procedures and rules for us like moving forward in terms of like productions, just so that we make sure that like everyone is safe and we don't get sick and no germs and hand sanitizer and social distancing and whatnot. We're just fortunate that our productions are a lot smaller than I guess Hollywood, who has like hundreds of people on set. That's I don't even know what's gonna happen at that point. It's crazy.
If you need to borrow some really long lenses so you can compress the scene and make it look like your fight scenes are close when really you're 10 foot apart, let me know. We can set you up with like a 1200 mil lens and you can throw punches that
Sweet.
look like they connect. Yeah. There was a question a bit earlier. Oh goodness, I am kind of losing myself. But there was one here that I've lost the question now. But they were asking, do I think smartphones are going to impact the industry, for photography industry, a lot? Will they kill off cameras, whatever, in the future? They already have. That's what's happened over the last 5 years or so. The compact industry is dead. It's now premium compacts and interchangeable lenses only, and the total camera industry sales have slumped. And yes, there are photography jobs that have been lost to that. It's been all through the news, maybe just in the news I read, but of newspapers cutting their photography team and just asking the journalist who goes to write about the story to get some iPhone shots to accompany it, because they're all, it's a web publication now, and that will do for them. So, I don't want to boil it down. This isn't a prepared thing that I wanted to say, but it's just, there's what's that movie? There's a movie with Danny DeVito from back in the day. It's not Other People's Money. What is it? I can't remember it. He's like this Wall Street guy, and he gives this speech about industries changing, and he was doing a hostile takeover of some company, and he was saying, so how would you like to be the main shareholder in the best buggy whip company in the country in 1920? They, all the competition died out. They were the best goddamn buggy whip maker in the world, and the industry is now gone. It doesn't matter how good you are at what you're doing. You have to go where the market's going, basically. So that's also the case, Unfortunately, if your industry's drying up, you either find a new road or retire. You can't just change the entire trend of where things are going single-handedly, unfortunately. I went off on a tangent. Yes, good question.
That's good though.
And, that there are times where, do I have one here? Where I'll go out with a big interchangeable system. There'll be times where I go out with just my iPhone, or with a rangefinder, or with a compact camera. You don't have to, not everyone needs to have a full frame DSLR, or a full frame mirrorless. It's just not the case. Profoto versus Godox, for what? It basically comes down to your budget and what features and build quality you want. That's like saying Hyundai or Rolls-Royce. It's kind of a bit broad to answer. Chris,
Can you guys put hashtag Ask Matt and hashtag Ask Steph so it's easier for us to find the questions?
Hi to everyone on Instagram. Just a note to say I'm answering on YouTube, so you won't hear Steph's comments. When I pause, I'm most likely listening to her, so it looks like I've just gone into a micro sleep or something. So feel free to join us on YouTube if you like. Chris asking, what do I think about Nikon giving a backpack for the Nikon 120 to 300 f2.8 instead of a metal carrying case? I don't care. They've given soft bags with super telephoto lenses for a long time now. It's not in the 500, 600 mil range. My 200 f2 came with a shoulder bag, so a lot of the 300 f2.8s, 400 f4s, that kind of thing. If I got a hard case one, it would then just go into storage and I would be buying a backpack for it. So I actually have the Think Tank glass limo for that reason. When I got a 600 mil rental to go on safari, hell, if I'm going to be taking a massive metal bag with me, that stayed at home and I took it in a small backpack. So yeah. And I don't know. If it does bother you, you're buying a $12,000 lens, factor in an extra $200 for a Pelican case. Let's see. I did see an interesting question back there. And let's just check. John Bremb, best way to protect your gear in a tropical environment. I have to say, I don't live and I've not lived in a tropical environment, so I'm no expert on this. But everyone I know in Southeast Asia with a lot of gear uses a dry case. So I guess that's what you get to keep the humidity down so you don't have fungus growing. Something about Matt will be worried about getting stabbed. I hope that's to do with being in one of your shows or coming to,
let's hope
probably
it's
to go with maybe going to UK or something. All right, how are we doing for time? So we're half an hour in. Hit me with some questions. Hit Steph with some questions. Oh, so circling back to Robert's question, I don't think he's in the room today, but about which celebrity would I shoot? So I don't have a complete shot concept, and it's kind of a cop-out, but it's kind of being realistic as well. When I first moved to New York, I said, and it still is, my big goal would be to shoot De Niro or Pacino. But actually, I think when I moved here, what I said originally was Pacino, but either would be great. I have some shots in mind, but if I were able to get the opportunity to do that, it would be a matter of where and when they're available, and I would make a concept to work with that. I don't think it would be okay, so I want you to meet me at Grimaldi's Pizza at 2:30, just when the sun's coming through the window in the right way, and building it out like that, unless I was somehow able to pivot towards a commercial shoot. And why are you laughing, Kate? Okay, I don't know. So I have Fennec is asking another question here, and I know we have some people in the room who might be able to help with this. I'm a new photographer and I'm looking for a new editing PC. Would you say an iMac is worth it, or should I get a PC? What do you use for editing hardware-wise? So Kate might be able to pull out a link to the computer system we use. Actually, I think it might be in the live stream already. It is. If you check the description of the YouTube live stream, I'm pretty sure I have a link to it already. The matter of worth it is really personal, because you can get a desktop for a few $100s that will edit photos if you're a little bit patient, then that runs PC and does everything you need, job done. If you want to use Mac for whatever reason, it's going to cost more. It just is. iMac, if you get, for example, the current or last two models, I think, of standard iMac, at least you're able to easily upgrade the RAM. So I'd be buying the base and then upgrading. For me, I am in the Mac ecosystem. I understand I'm overpaying for it. If you do a spec to spec or a performance to performance, I don't care. It's my money. It's my choice. I would rather be using Mac OS and not running a Hackintosh. So I have a Mac laptop for when I travel, and now in studio. Oh, that's another realization I've made since quarantine. How happy I am that I get to use the Mac Pro Tower now rather than my editor using it. I was always stuck on the laptop whilst he was doing the edits. And another realization, what an absolute beast of a machine it is. Using Final Cut Pro, and that's one of the main reasons I still use Mac, I have put out about 9.5 hours of high bitrate 4K video in the last week. So that's editing it, and I was playing it all back in 2x speed with multiple streams because it was my own talking that I was editing, so I knew where there'd be errors or where I needed to add things. And the project files came to like, I think it's 5 terabytes. It was about 1.2 terabytes of raw files, 3.6 terabytes of project files, and 400 gig of final exports. And that system, a pair of 4K 10-bit ASO monitors, and the Shuttle XL from G-Tech didn't miss a beat. I would like get up to get a glass of water, and 3 15-minute clips would have been exported in that time and be waiting for me to check that they'd worked. It was crazy.
5 terabytes?
Uh-huh.
Oh my
4
God.
something.
Okay. Jeez. Okay.
Ian Bell, would you ever think of doing a photo trip to Northumberland and its amazing castles and irons? Please don't throw anything at me, but I don't even know where that is. Europe, UK, maybe. I was just looking at that castle that is what Steph's childhood dreams are all based around. The one
Disney?
Well, yeah, but the actual amazing one. That
Disney
a friend
World.
went there. No, I mean the actual castle that fairy tale castles have been drawn on. It starts with an N, somewhere on a mountaintop in Germany, thinking that that might be a worthwhile trip just to go for that. There we go, Neuenstern. Thank you, 101 blog. And how did you get a avatar that is so like you, but I've never seen you wearing sunglasses, but you are red and angry looking, so that's cool. So we have a few more questions. Sorry, Steph, do you have a question?
Oh no, I was saying like, let's see what other questions. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, from Abraham. What is one tip from each of your professional repertoire you have never shared before but are willing to share with us right here, right now?
Oh, good question, Abe.
Oh.
Steph first.
What? Why me first?
Whoa, ladies first.
Okay. Let me see that I haven't. I mean, technically, I haven't shared that much on your channel, so I guess I do have a lot. And is this in terms of photography, modeling, or like, I mean, I guess so one. All right, so I guess I'll just give a broad answer. Pre-production. Pre-production works for both video and for like photographers as well. If you guys are setting up a shoot with a model, if you guys can, do some test shoots first. Test shoots are very important. That way, when you're able to work with the model, you know exactly what you're doing and you're not fumbling over the lights or the equipment or any of the technical stuff. The model could just do their thing and you could direct as you want, but at least you know everything is under your control in terms of like lights, setup, look, feel, just everything overall. So that's my tip.
Good one. And I will back that up. The recent video I did with Yasmin that hopefully you guys saw, because it was the first shoot we were doing in 2 months or something, and we were doing it sounds so funny to say, but we were shooting socially distanced. We didn't get close to each other. We air-waved and high-fived from 10 feet apart, that kind of thing. I also wanted to take as little of her time as possible and have as little time fumbling around with equipment, and I didn't have my normal team. So it was my wife helping me out with the gimbaled iPhone and then me establishing shots. So it wasn't so much a matter of doing like full test shots of the final images I wanted, but in terms of pre-production, it doesn't have to be like a scouting team of 20 people in helicopters. It's just whatever it is you're shooting. So I walked the area that I was planning for us to shoot at the same times we were planning to shoot 3 days in a row, taking sample photos just so I had an idea of what order we should do it, which direction I should be going, so we could minimize the amount of trial and error at the time. So exactly what Steph said. Something that I've never shared before. Ooh. Huh.
I feel like you're a very open book in terms of how you do things on your channel. So I feel like there really isn't much that you haven't already shared.
So this, this will go without saying to some people, may be helpful to some people. As much of an open book as you are, or that I am, I'd say a couple of things. Focusing on what the outcome is and getting to that point is more important than getting bogged down in politics or being right or winning arguments on set. Just making things work to get to that point is the most important, and something that I think everyone learns over time with age. It's often better to say less, think more, and then act when the time is right, rather than just, I have an opinion and you need to hear all of it right now. It rarely is the best play to show your cards in their entirety straight away. That's not to say be dishonest, but, thinking more, listening more, and talking less in things that actually matter is usually the winning strategy. Chris, weird questions, mate. Let's see.
Oh, David, have you
Go.
asked Steph, have you worked with a photographer who obviously didn't know what she was doing, and how did you handle it? Um, Actually, surprisingly, that happens more often than not, just because I mean, I work with photographers of various levels, some that are just starting out, some that are very experienced. And I mean, because I've been doing this for so long, I just kind of reassure them that, like, hey, everything's okay. We could always do another time. This just takes practice. They could take their time to try to figure it out. Or, I mean, I don't know too much about like the technical stuff, but I can kind of help them a little bit. Um, just kind of reassuring them that they're never going to get the shot that they want from the very first photo that they take. So, that's how usually like I handle it.
Nice. Sean Vine asked me, have I ever or would I ever do aerial photography out of a helicopter type blah, blah, blah stuff? I have, and I have shared one link there, and then my thing just went all funny and I lost the page. But I will share another one with you. If I'm happy to answer the questions, that's what this is for. But if you have I wonder if Matt has ever done this type of video before, you can save yourself waiting for my answer by typing it into the channel search. So I've just shared two that are aerial photography tutorials, or videos anyway. Now, there was another one back here that I thought was a good question. And now I have lost it. Do we have any others here? Oh, novice but eager photographer. Oh, that's a long and nice name. Random question, what watch are you wearing today? I've shown it plenty of times before. It's a Tissot Quartz T-Touch Solar, it's got a long name, Expert Solar something. It's I like it because it's got an altimeter and a compass and a chronograph and all of that. The face is a solar panel and it's a touch screen. How about that? But it's not a smartwatch.
Oh,
Oh,
fancy.
you know, I am. I'm drinking tap water out of a wine glass.
Oh, I'm drinking hot water and lemon. Oh.
You win. Lemons are expensive.
And it matches me.
Stefan saying, great watch. Well, actually, the reason that I'm hoping to visit Switzerland is to upgrade this. So let's see. Are you guys anywhere near Geneva? What's your view on Photomatic's HDR software? Sorry, I haven't used Photomatic's. The HDR look that some people are going for, I don't really like. Although merging exposures for HDR, I think can be great, but I've just never used Photomatic's. Robbie Keane, how much difference do you see in your video views since COVID? Most channels are way down. I don't know. At first I saw there was a lift. Over time, I think it's similar. I guess the difficulty is a lot of people then had to pivot into, let me do some live streaming, let me talk about how to photograph in the house or this or that. So then there was actually probably less variety than there was before. Sean saying we're both annoyingly healthy. No, I'm just, well, one thing, I've got a few more hours of work to do today. And then I'm taking my weekend, and by weekend I mean day and a half of time off for the month from tomorrow. So I got to keep at it for now. And I found with quarantine, I will just eat and drink all day and all night. So I'm not drinking at the moment and trying to up my water intake to be a bit of a camel.
Yeah, I've been trying to be healthier because I used to drink a lot of soda, and now I want to cut back. So,
I'm still drinking
yeah.
soda. Just 1 calorie. And then I adjust my shirt so you don't
And
notice
it's
that the buttons
diet.
are billowing. I love Diet
Ew.
Coke cans. Only from a can.
Wait,
I
what?
like that. I don't know, shut up.
Wait, it tastes different from a can?
I
Like the Diet
like
Coke
it.
can?
I like it. Okay. Okay.
Diet Coke is so gross. Okay, fine,
Your
whatever.
face is gross. Oliver, what happened to Cider House now that I'm in the Apple ecosystem? Cider House, sadly, is sitting over there, and still I'm deciding should I break it up for parts and sell them. But selling things like on Craigslist is difficult because you can't just meet someone on the corner, or to sell the entire system as one lot, which obviously would be my preference. It'd probably bring in less money, but it would save a lot of time. So if anyone's looking for a ridiculous 256 gig ECC RAM Quadro PC 8K video editing system, let me know, because I would be happy to move it on. People who are not happy
Sorry,
with
I just had
Diet
a
Coke,
really funny
lucky you
thought.
don't have to drink it. What's your funny thought?
Like, what if you just took the computer apart and you're walking outside and you're wearing a trench coat and somebody's just like, "Hey, what are you selling?" And then you open this computer parts and you're like, "What are you buying?" Sorry, it was just a funny image in my head. My bad. Sorry. I'll just drink my water. Okay.
Funny has more than one definition. I agree with one of them. Any last questions on IG? Greetings from UK.
Ooh, from David. What podcasts do you listen to?
I don't at the moment. You? Oh, you listen to
What?
some stupid Dungeons and Dragons one, right?
Oh my gosh, it is not stupid.
That's a
They are
yes.
so good that their Patreon, they earn enough money for all of the people involved in the podcast to like pay off their rent. They make like each person probably makes at least $5,000 a month.
Awesome.
It's crazy. But I listen to Indie Film Hustle, just to get the latest news on independent filmmaking. And I listen to Dungeons and Daddies, which is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast with Freddie Wong and like a bunch of other people. And they're four dads. They're thrown in the Forgotten Realms, and their mission is to rescue their sons. And it's super funny. Oh my God, Matt, it's awesome. You should. I bet my I bet our relationship, our friendship, that you would like it. It's so good.
Our friendship doesn't mean much to you then. I wouldn't like it.
What? No, I swear.
I don't have a point of reference.
Guys, everyone here, please, just give Dungeons and Daddies a try, and then help me get Matt to like listen to it. It is
I
so
bet our friendship
good.
that you will like Dr. Coke with creaming soda. See,
Ew.
two can play at this
Oh.
negging game. Yum. Actually, I was about to say
Oh
something
my God, but
inappropriate.
it's so good. It is so good.
Larry says that Steph is the happiest person. Oh,
Because I
shame.
listen to Dungeons and Daddies. They should sponsor me.
With all of that Patreon money, yo.
It's so good.
Oh, talking of weird internet stuff, when Steph and I finally get to reconnect and it's safe to shoot, I have a concept for a video that I've got mostly planned out, but I don't have one aspect, but I'm thinking a cosplay theme would be good. That doesn't mean it has to be like science fiction or something crazy, but do you guys have any suggestions? I know, Steph, you have friends in the cosplay world of what's a cool character that you see like people like me doing Tomb Raider. I'm not going for that kind of a look. So I'm not thinking that you should cosplay as Shrek. So a character that you can actually do. It doesn't have to be a fighter, but, at least female, at least slim, not, I don't know, Miss Piggy or something. But, like...
I don't know, cosplay, like, it's expensive, man. It's expensive.
Well, then we're going to do janky cosplay. It'll be buying a costume and then trying to get some of your friends to help you do suitable makeup.
Oh, God. Okay. I mean, there's time. I guess I could practice.
But you don't have to, like, be the character. You just have to be it in a photo. So you don't have to, like, learn lines or anything.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, I mean, fortunate I'm Asian and, well, I did have long black hair, but I pretty much fit a lot of anime characters, so.
Or we can just
Yeah,
wet your
we'll see
hair
what
and you can
happens.
be one of the horror characters. Done. Asian woman,
Okay,
wet
yeah,
hair.
oh my God, that's fine with me. Oh, if I could be like a monster, ooh,
Well, let's do that
I'm
then.
down.
I still have cans of aerosol atmosphere, so let's. I'll find a still area and turn you into the Walking Dead or something.
It just sounds like we're prepping for like Halloween. This is so sad.
This will be
It's
rehearsal.
May.
The last time we had you dress up in a costume was for Halloween last year, actually. So we'll just get some rehearsals in. Kitana from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea, but it just seems like such an obvious one for an Asian woman who does martial arts. I feel like everyone would do Kitana. And I
Yep.
don't know. It's not a bad idea. And when I searched for cosplay ideas, not searching for Asian women, just searching for like, what's a cool cosplay, it was in the top 10 of most lists. But
Yeah, I've already done pretty much
oh,
all of the generic ones.
watch the Ali Wong stand-up specials. She's Vietnamese American. You can be her. You just have to like stick a pillow in your tummy because she's pregnant in all of her shows and wear spandex. Done.
Yes, let's do that. All right, cool. Easy. Let's do this. I like that.
As a zombie.
It's not typical. As a zombie.
There you go. Now, this will sound like a diss, but it's not meant as one. You're lovely, you're funny, you're smart. You're not like a typical ladylike, dainty, like, what's the right word? You know what I'm getting at, right? You're not all, ooh, let's have
I
a cup
think
of
so.
tea and I want to go shopping and
I'm wearing
buy.
sweatpants and a hoodie.
Well,
Like
I'm
I'm
glad you
not.
wore pants today. But compared to Ali, she is raw. You are like a little old Fauntleroy princess compared to her. So you would have to get a little bit more rugged to cosplay
Oh,
that
I'm
one.
okay with that.
Good, good. Not a
I'm
girly
perfectly
girl.
fine
That's
with
the
that.
term. I couldn't think of the right way to say it. Not a
Oh
girly girl.
yeah.
You're not precious. Hoity-toity. There we go. It's all streaming in now. And you also don't want to say you're one of the boys because that doesn't sound like a compliment. Um, Sam Andrew Chronicles. Ugh. Do you have any idea when the Canon EOS R5 will be released in Australia and what price do you think it will be? No idea and no idea. I mean, I don't know when. It's not, we don't have timing anywhere in the world. Pricing, no one has an idea. I saw a headline, someone hoping it would be under 4,000. I saw a leak, like a mistaken page from Australia went live saying it was going to be 10,000 Australian dollars. I reckon it'll probably be about the same price as a Sony A9, or maybe even more. So that would put it around 5,000 US dollars. So what's that with the Australian exchange rate? About 32 grand, something like that. I don't know. Hopefully the Australian dollar picks up before it's announced though, because pricing tends to get set at a point and stay there for 6 months or a year. Matt's charm is his awkwardness. Oh, stop her, you big stop
Oh
her.
yeah, I guess on my own YouTube channel, I'm very non-girly girl. It's also some of the scripts that we write. Actually, no, I just cuss a lot. I think that's really just the only difference. Yeah, yeah.
David Putzia is going to check out Dungeons and Dads just for you. How
Yeah,
sweet.
it's so good. It is so good.
I'm going to let David check it out for both of us. So thank you, David. Ben Sweetnam, I have a D300S for sports and I'm getting grainy images. Upgrade or ice hockey? What? That's not two alternatives I would have thought. Yeah, maybe ice hockey's the better thing. Then you don't need to upgrade. You'll have the reflected light off the ice, right? I mean, I don't know what your options are. I've never shot ice hockey. If you're getting grainy images, is it to do with being at a high ISO? Then a newer camera will have better ISO performance, but without knowing what other equipment you're using, it's hard to know. Let's see. We're almost at the hour, so quick reminder, get your window light, images in by Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so we can have a look at them for you here and give away some prizes. So this is lovely. Lots of questions. La Paven Ventien. Someone saying a cosplay idea. I'll copy that so we can check it. It sounds very Parisian and lovely and wonderful. Any other questions for Steph or I, folks, before we wrap this? Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like a Venetian mask type cosplay. The picture that came up kind of looked like a cross between Edward Scissorhands and a Venetian mask character.
Sure. If you did another channel, cosmetic channel or food channel?
Who?
Hmm.
That's obviously you, right? I mean, they know it from me,
Yeah,
it would be cosmetics.
I would not do cosmetics because I don't know much about makeup or any of that stuff. Food would probably be just to eat food.
Mukbang.
But if I were to have another channel, I think it would just be, I actually have no idea. Maybe just martial arts. It's very simple, just martial arts stuff. But I don't like the idea of like teaching martial arts. Technically, I can teach taekwondo, but I feel like I'm just not good enough.
I think I'm going to start a channel where I teach Taekwondo. I think it's time. Oh, did Steph just hang up? I think Steph just hung up.
I'm
That's
right
pretty
here.
funny. Oh, I heard buzzing, unless someone was trying to call me. Okay. Last
Hello?
questions. No, I hear you now, but I don't know if you're frozen,
Oh,
but I
okay.
hear you now. But I was just hearing like the dial tone of someone like calling, so I thought it was Skype reconnecting us. For myself, I already have a food channel. That's World's Best Seafood. You can check that out. It's a bit wanting at the moment, but due for an update. I am looking at doing some new content, especially on watches, but I don't think there is any sense in just starting a brand new channel. I'll just make it a separate playlist here, make it really clear from the thumbnail and the description what it is, and those of you who are interested can watch it. Those who aren't can either skip it like a normal person or click in just to tell me that you don't like that there's watch content there. So either way, whatever works for you. So we have just hit the hour, so thank you all for joining us. Remember, get your window light shots in over at the... sorry, there's lots more questions all of a sudden coming in. That's always the way, but
mattgranger.com/live.
yeah.
Submit your window light images, guys.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who did submit a question. If there's any others that we didn't get to, then search the channel because there's a good chance I've already done a video on it over the past 7 or 8 years. And yes, sorry that I don't know that there'll be any normal videos this week other than the 2 lives. There may be one pre-recorded one that I did like a year ago that I never put live. I just don't have time to film anything at the moment, so we'll see you again soon, if not before, can't speak, if not before, on Friday for our window light challenge live.
Yeah.
So
I
cheers
mean,
guys.
Matt does have a lot of videos on his channel that you guys could kind of go back and like watch anyways. So,
Let me choose a random one that you should all go watch now. What's the, oh, maybe the first one that Steph and I did together. How about that? That's sweet, isn't it? Oh, that's
because
nice.
I'll be honest, sometimes I'm like trying to figure out camera stuff or lighting stuff or just like anything, and I'll type it out and I'm like, oh, look, there's Matt. And it's a video years ago. I'm like, wow, look at that. The
He used to
quality has
have
jumped so much.
hair. It's funny. I do the same. I was, for the 9 hours of stuff that I was putting together over the last week, there was a concept that I needed to explain. I'm like, oh, what's the best way to go about this? Oh, wait, I did it 3 or 4 years ago. So I was like downloading my own old videos to rewatch them and then recheck how I had worded it before. And that happens. Cringe, that's a
You
bit
should do
rude.
like a scavenger hunt with your videos.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're running out of puff. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Friday. Get your shots in, and we'll see you over at Instagram as well. All our details are below. Cheers. Thanks, Steph.
I